Hey everyone, Tin Man here with a guide for what I consider to be the most fun deck to play in Artifact right now, Black-Green Payday. This deck relies on early gold generation with Track, Ironfog Goldmine, and Payday to power out fast items like Horn of the Alpha or attack with massive Revtel convoys. It has a lot of mid-game mobility options for both the heroes and the creeps to ensure that your power is in the right place at the right time. You also have strong removal options and initiative plays like Chainfrost and Coup de Grace to mess up your opponent's late game plays. Let's start with the heroes we use. You definitely want to play Phantom Assassin and Bounty Hunter. They're simply the best at killing heroes and generating gold. I prefer playing 3 black heroes because most of the removal and gold generation cards are black, and that'll make up the majority of our deck. I like Lich the best since his signature card helps to control opposing boards that go wide, and his sacrifice ability helps to keep our hand full. Sniper and Tinker are also considerations. Tinker also brings AoE and early trading potential, while Sniper brings a powerful late game single target spell. For the 2 green heroes, I like Omni Knight and Darkseer. Omni Knight keeps your creeps and heroes alive since we don't have as many early health items as other decks. Plus, he has the most stats out of any green hero. Darkseer's card is rather lackluster, but he provides Surge, which is a powerful mobility active to ensure that Revtel convoys and Thunderhide packs are exactly where you need them when you need them. Since the strategy so heavily revolves around those creeps, giving them a mobility is a powerful effect. Some other heroes I tried, Lycan, Drow Ranger, were better in a version with more creeps, but I found that version is less effective overall. Magnus was actually the 3rd best green hero that I tried, since his Empower ability is amazing for ensuring that you have turn 2 hero kills, plus the Cleave ability helps with boards that go wide from the opponent. On to the core cards of the deck. Ironfog Goldmine, Track, and Payday are obviously the best gold generating cards out there, and you should always have 3 of each. Gank, Pickoff, and Hipfire are there to help secure the early kills and to give you cross lane plays. Revtel Convoy is the whole reason we're playing green because it is simply the best creep in the game when you build around it properly. It provides hero killing, tower damage, and ancient pressure when you double up your gold with Payday. Horn of the Alpha and Vesture of the Tyrant are simply the best finishers to spend gold on. Most of the time you're going to want Horn of the Alpha since it plays both offense and defense well, but in some matchups, like against Mono Blue, Vesture is far more impactful. To fill out the rest of your deck, here are some of the optional cards that you can try. Relentless Pursuit helps you to avoid bad flops, like when Phantom Assassin lands in front of Bristleback, and to give you repositioning in the mid to late game. Rebel Decoy is useful to get your heroes into position to kill their heroes, but also get your large creeps free to attack the opposing tower. Unearthed Secrets helps to refill your hand, since many plays like Goldmine, Payday, and Gank leave you down on cards compared to your opponent. Since we don't go very wide, it can be very easy to trigger even on a lane that you're still playing and competing on. Assassin's Apprentice and Mist of Avernus help your heroes to trade better on the first few turns, but I've found them to be fairly lackluster at any other point in the game. Slay is a particularly strong card, but there aren't too many high value targets in the current meta other than Emissary of the Quorum, so I generally pass on it. And finally, Tyler's State Sensor is great versus Mono Blue to disrupt them and keep them off of Annihilation for an extra turn, but it doesn't really help advance our own strategy, it just disrupts the opponent. Let's talk about some general gameplay tips. In the early game, you're going to want to buy health items like Revtel Signet Ring and healing items from the consumable shop when possible because our heroes are fairly fragile. The longer they stay up, the more gold they can generate. Normally you don't want to buy Blink Daggers, however, very early on because they cost so much gold, which would be better spent saving up for a Payday or a Revtel Convoy. If you aren't going to get the kill on turn 1, you can still play a Track on the opposing hero, but you should be wary of opposing healing items, and especially Jasper Daggers and TP Scroll, as they can clear your Track. Make sure you can use your 4-cost removal spells to preempt those plays. Remember that Ion Shell can also go on creeps for extra damage, not just on heroes. In the mid game, you want to focus on winning lane 1 if possible. That allows you to get maximum value from your Gank, Surge, and other cross-lane plays. Try to put Horn of the Alpha and Revtel Convoy into a lane with Darkseer to take advantage of the mobility he provides, ideally on lane 1. When Revtel Convoy is on the board, you want to try to avoid spending a lot of gold in order to keep the convoy relevant. Force them to deal with the convoy, and then once they deal with it, then you can spend all of your gold. In the late game, you can easily pressure the Ancient with Paydays to make your Revtel Convoy deal tons of damage, and also generating 14/14 Thunderhide packs adds up to 80 pretty quickly. When you do buy Blink Daggers, you should prioritize putting them on green heroes if possible, since it's often better because your black heroes have other mobility options like Relentless Pursuit, Surge, and Gank. So on to more specific matchup advice. Against mono red, this matchup can be kind of tricky, since killing their heroes is a big challenge. If you do get an early track, make sure you cash it in and don't let them heal out of it. Their late game is very strong, so you need to be the aggressor in the mid game. Horn of the Alpha is much better than Vesture of the Tyrant for this reason. They do struggle to control big creeps, so your Revtal Convoys and Thunderhide packs can definitely take over a game if they come out early enough. Lich and his signature card Chainfrost are quite bad against all of their armor, so if you play against a lot of mono red, consider swapping Lich for Sniper to get that piercing damage Assassinate. Against mono blue, this matchup is much better for you, as you can kill their heroes much easier than against mono red. You want to get the Vesture of the Tyrant early because it really shines in this matchup. You may also want to put a second one in your deck if you play against mono blue a lot. As always against mono blue, you need to pressure all 3 lanes. If you give up one lane too easily, they can focus all of their removal on the remaining 2 and you'll be hard pressed to win. They can go very wide with Kana, so Vesture is your best defense against that. Other than Vesture, Chainfrost is the other MVP, clearing the board and then getting initiative for you to coup de grace or do another removal spell on the next lane. Try to kill the heroes in waves rather than one per turn. This will make them have a turn where they have no heroes respawning, and that's your opening to push and take down a lane. You also want to prioritize actually destroying a tower, not just bringing it low. If the tower's low, but then they annihilate the lane, you may never get a chance to finish it off. Against red-green ramp, this matchup is a race against their more powerful late game, so buying and using Horn of the Alpha as soon as possible is crucial. Try to put your black heroes into lanes where their green heroes are, as it's easier to kill them and deny the mana ramp, which is the scariest part of their deck. Vesture is fairly lackluster in this matchup, since they outscale the armor with Emissary of the Quorum, and you need to be aggressive, not defensive. Just like mono red, they can struggle with large creeps, so Revtal Convoy and Thunderhide packs can take over the lane. Against black-red aggro, you want to contest every lane, as they will race down an Ancient if you leave them alone. A common trick that they'll do is they'll put Sorla Khan on turn 2 into a later lane, and then use Phantom Assassin or another black hero on an earlier lane to gank your hero in the Sorla Khan lane, leaving them with a 2-hero advantage. So if you can avoid it, don't deploy your turn 2 hero into a lane with Phantom Assassin so they can't do this play. In contrast to the red-green matchup, you are not the aggressor here. You want to play defensively early and then start to turn the corner later using Horn of the Alpha and Chainfrost. So some final thoughts. This deck is a ton of fun to play. You can get massive amounts of gold and do some crazy things with Revtal Convoy. Unfortunately, it is a little susceptible to bad early games where you can't get any early gold generation, and is heavily reliant on drawing Payday. I think the deck is solidly tier 2, and it can definitely compete with some of the top dogs in the format, even if it is a little less consistent. I highly encourage you to try this deck out for yourself, or you can watch me play it in the video series linked in the description below. Be sure to check out my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/tinman354, and please feel free to ask me any questions. I would love to help. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and thanks for watching.